Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Sheep Get Sheared podcast. I'm your host, Austin Creed. I want to welcome you into the show. My friends, if you've watched the show before, you know that I don't normally make the show about me. I don't see there being a lot of benefit a lot of the times with talking about me because a lot of that is anecdotal evidence. A lot of that, frankly, just isn't necessary, But today's different. Today is different because I understand that sometimes the show come off as a bit preachy, and it's not just my show. There are a lot of shows out there where people want to tell you what you should do, what you should care about, why you should do certain things and whatnot. But today I want to get vulnerable with all of you, and this is kind of hard for me to do, quite frankly, and the reason why. I've been through some difficult stuff in my life, and I still go through difficult things all the time. And it's easy for anybody to get a microphone and a camera and to act like a persona. Put on a mask, pretend to be somebody that they're not for money. I get it, and attention and everything else. But that's not the way I operate. Why? Because I don't care about doing that crap. I've worn a mask my whole life, as most people do. Because we want people to like us. We want people to accept us. We want to feel as though we have a place in society. We want people to care about us. But then you realize that they only care about this fake person you've invented. They don't care about you because they don't know you. How could you care about somebody you don't know? And one of the difficult areas and lessons I've learned in the area of life is that you need to identify who you are currently, and then you can decide where you want to go. It's all part and parcel of this greater message that I preach on this show, which is to develop your own personal philosophy. I'm going to be really honest with you. Life is really hard. Maybe you're a younger person and you haven't experienced a whole lot of really difficult things, and that's honestly, I envy you to an extent. Life is not easy. Maybe you're a lucky person, and your life has been easy and good and joyful and, orgasmic, that's great. But you're the exception, you're not the norm. For most people, life is a grind. Life is a non-stop suck fest, and it's hard. And the difficulties of life, we often try to drown out, whether it's through not wanting to embrace silence, succumbing to certain substances, or distractions, or escaping. There are so many different ways we can get through life without really truly living it. And a lot of us out here are also broke. We're down bad. We don't have a lot. We never really experience what it is to live. Everybody eventually passes away in this life. But not many of us truly get to take life for a ride. Life just kind of runs us over day after day, year after year, decade over decade, and by the time it's done with us, we can't wait to be done. We can't wait to check out. But my friends, I really want to have more of a conversation with you. I'm not here to depress you. Look, I get it. See, you're seeing the more depressive side of me. I don't like to talk about like this because at the end of the day, I realize that people don't want to feel depressed. They want to feel happy. That's why people get on drugs. That's why people distract themselves, whether it's through prawn or through video games or social media or whatever. People like distractions. They don't want to deal with the uncomfortable realities of life. Life itself can be categorized as like a diamond, in my opinion. There's the body, the mind, the soul, and the heart. And all those things make up you. And when it comes down to it, most people don't want to explore that. They don't even understand how they work. They don't understand why they think the things they think, how they end up in the situations they end up in, why people treat them a certain way. A lot of people don't understand why this happens. And while I don't claim to have all the answers, because, let's be honest, who the hell does? I do want to really let you know that I'm not someone putting on a mask. And if you don't believe me, frankly, I'm proud of you for not believing me, because that's how I operate. I don't believe people just by what they say. I believe people based on what they do. Because words will always go any direction they want. Actions can only go one way. Anybody can talk that talk, but you got to be able to walk that walk. And my friends, the difficulties of life are hard to anybody to handle. And in my experience, the only way that I've learned how to cope, and I'm not some guru who knows everything, who lives on top of a mountain, meditates all day, and doesn't eat meat. That's not me. I'm not a monk. But I will tell you this. You have to be willing to sacrifice your comfort in this life. Because comfort is something that we inherently desire. But you need to understand that when you're comfortable, you cannot grow. I know that sounds counterintuitive, but it's not. When you realize that in comfort, you tend to not strive, you tend to not yearn, you tend not to work hard, then that's when you start to understand that it is only through experiencing suffering and pain that you can grow as a person. One of the men that I love in my life, who I grew up, he's one of my best friend's fathers. I talk to him about once a week. I talked to him the other day. And he gave me some good advice. I love talking with him. Because gentlemen especially, but women I'd also advise for this. If you don't have at least one mentor, if not more, you need to fix that now. Because to an extent, with age comes wisdom. And to leave those gains on the table is just sad. I mean, just think about all the times you've made a mistake that you could have avoided, or you could have learned through someone else's experience who you connect with, you understand, you sympathize with them. They could have helped save you from a really bad decision. A lot of people have to bog their heads to learn. And learning the hard way sometimes is necessary, but if you can learn through other people's mistakes, that is one way to make life less difficult, because then you learn through other people's mistakes, not just through your own. I know there's a quote by some famous person. I mean, there's a quote for everything off of somebody who's famous. But there's some quote, I forget, maybe somebody in the comments can let me know. There's a quote by somebody who says that, it's something like this. Wise people learn from other people's mistakes. Normal people learn from their own mistakes. And stupid people can't even learn from their own mistakes, or something like that. And I believe that to be 100% true. Because, I mean, the difficulties of life, whether it happens to you, happens to your family, happens to your friends, happens at your workplace, we all experience suffering, loss, discomfort, unhappiness. But you're next level jaded when you fear happiness, or you are wary of happiness because you know it's a trap. You learn those things in your 20s. You learn that happiness is a trap. Because number one, it's never permanent. And number two, you learn that relationships in general are a waste of time. Because the best case scenario for any relationship is that you both log off of life at the same time, so to speak. That's the best case scenario. My grandfather recently had to go through my grandma passing away, and they were married for over 50 years. And so, for him, he can't picture life without her, and I don't blame him at all. I mean, again, like I said, you have to find a way to deal with life's burdens. And in my opinion, the only way to make it better is to accept the fact that life sucks. And then once you accept that, you set yourself free from the trap of happiness. Because do you know how much money is made off of happiness? Do you have any idea how much businesses try to market happiness?
Business. Numbers? Is this working? Yes.
Yay! There is so much money to be made off of trying to make people happy. So once you realize that happiness it's fleeting. It's something that you only experience in mere moments. Maybe it's the birth of a child, the accomplishment of something that you've set your mind to, the ability to learn lessons the easy way, or maybe it's doing something that's meaningful to you. But those are fleeting moments. You should never expect to always be happy. Have you ever noticed the people who are hedonists, the pleasure seekers, they're the most unhappy people on the planet? Go figure that one out. How is it that you want to chase happiness and yet you end up the most unhappy person on the planet? You want to talk about a paradox? My God. I mean, let's be honest here. So if chasing happiness only makes your life more difficult, well then what's the solution, Austin? Are you asking the question? What's the solution? Well, the only solution I can see is for you to figure that out for yourself, because everyone's life is different. Everyone has different goals. Everybody has different aspirations, different circumstances, and everything. So how could I, in good faith, assign you homework when I don't even know what class you're in, what major you want, or anything else? How could I do that? How could I write you a prescription? I don't know what your symptoms are. I don't know what the underlying conditions are. I don't know about anything. I'm just trying to figure out a catch-all. Don't exist. Now, I can maybe help point you in the right direction as I point myself every day. But my friends, even if you love what you do every day, you're still gonna burn out. Life's still gonna happen, and you're gonna be stuck holding the bag, holding the shambles, and you're gonna have to figure out how to put it back together. I hate to put it in those graphic, unfortunate terms, but it's true. And so, my friends, I understand if this is depressing. Truly, I really get it. But you know what? I hope this is liberating for you, because it's only when you hit rock bottom, or when you're done accepting that other people's limitations and you really want to do something for yourself and you don't care what anybody else thinks. You don't care if they approve of what you're doing. You don't care if they disapprove of what you are doing. You need to overcome a fear of rejection. That's my advice to you. You need to overcome the desire to be liked, the desire for other people to accept you, the desire for other people to want to be around you. So let's be honest, most people, they don't care about you. All they care about is what they can get from you, because most people I find to be terrible. Most people are just, they want to get what they want to get from you, and as long as they can do that, they care about you. And the minute you stop providing that, or the possibility's not there, all of a sudden they're not interested anymore, and they immediately check out, and they're like, I'll move on to my next victim. So, you might be asking, well, Austin, what was the point of the show today? What, did you just come on here to depress me, make me feel like my life has no meaning? No. In fact, the opposite is true. You know what one of the liberating facts of knowing that, once you're gone, no one's going to remember you, or even if they do, your memory is going to be preserved in a way that it was never intended to be. Nothing really matters type mentality, the Nietzscheism / nihilism. You know what the beauty of that is? That it frees you to decide what matters to you. If nothing matters, well, then you might as well do what you want to do. You might as well care about the things that you want to care about. If anything, it says that you should care about the things that are closest to you. It liberates you from caring about the garbage that people tell you to care about, that you should care about, the ideas of morality that you should hold, that you ought to hold, that are good for you to hold, and all this garbage. It's liberating to know that at the end of the day, you are the master of your own universe. And God, in my experience, if you believe in such things as I do, God rewards people who act. God doesn't reward people who sit on their hands, twiddle their thumbs, and wait for him to come to approach them. No, in my experience, God appreciates people and respects and rewards people who go out and act. They're people of action. They make choices. They stumble. They fall. He's there to catch them. I'm not trying to get spiritual on you. I just want you to know, this is why I despise a lot of the things the church does, and they're just like, oh, God will direct your steps. Most people aren't even taking any steps at all. And yet you want to sit there and tell them God's going to guide their steps. They're not even doing anything. They're sitting on their phones. They're living in petrifying fear of life itself and rejection and failure and all this garbage. No wonder they can't even do that. Now, everybody has to start somewhere. And I want you to know, if you're down today, you feel bad, you're unhappy, you're discontent, you're not alone. I feel that more often than I would like to admit to you, personally. And I'm not here to pretend like I'm some happy-go-lucky guy who's rich and successful and has everything. It's not me. Not yet, anyways. So at the end of the day, you need to realize that I'm not better than you. I am you. In fact, with most of you, I could probably sit down and have a conversation and we'd get along quite well. My friends, just know that you're not alone. There are more people who feel this way, but they're afraid to talk about it. They're afraid to show vulnerability. They're afraid to really let anybody in, and I understand that. Truly, I understand that more than you could know. But that is your choice to make. If you want to do what you've always done, you're going to get what you've always gotten. And if you've liked what you've gotten so far, keep doing what you're doing. But if you want to do something more, you want to be better, you want to accomplish something that you've never have, or you want to create a new chapter in your life and start a new arc in the story of your life, well, then there's no better time than now. Yesterday was the best time. Now is the second best time. My friends, hopefully I didn't depress you too much. I really hope that somebody took something away from the show today. Because, it's tough to talk like this. Truly. It's easier for me to go and talk about, people or politics or something in popular culture or something like that. It's easier for me to do that. But that self-improvement, development, relationships, life itself all stems from you. Your mentality, your outlook on life. And so why would I not talk about it? Alright. Check you guys next time. I appreciate it. If you have anything you want to say, anything you want to add, feel free to do so. I welcome it. I appreciate it. You can leave it in the comments. My X handle is @Sheared. You can hit me up in the DMs. You can respond to one of my posts if you want. I ask a lot of questions. My friends, in the meantime, just know that I appreciate you. And you are not alone. I'm out. Peace.